Welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming. And I really appreciate the emails and the conversations with the Facebook. I really appreciate that as well. You do have to talk to me maybe over and over because, you're getting knowledge and you want to understand your personal hair damage. So don't worry. I don't think any question is too dumb, and I definitely don't mind answering questions again if you might have forgotten. Therefore, I appreciate you taking out the time to change your hair habits. That's what I do. I talk about damaged hair because you need someone to talk to you about damaged hair. We've lost that healing process that we used to be able to do. We used to be able to bring our hair back. And that's probably why you see a lot of commercials and people talking about all the hair oils. And I hope to clarify how that healing process goes. The more knowledge you have about your hair and how it grows, the more power you are or you have to save your hair. Remember, you are the savior for your hair. So hair wellness is not far away, but it does take understanding and discipline and a willingness to change your bad hair habits. My old clientele, that's what I did. I specialized in damaged hair because my clients wanted to change. They knew they did not have hair wellness and they wanted you to have it as well. That's why they came to me and inspired me, because they knew I was doing research on damaged hair. And with the hair knowledge that I was experiencing and learning and gathering, I continued to do so until I went to school. I am a legal cosmetologist, but when I went to school, I had the pleasure of SES training, Scientific Educational Systems by Reckon. Now, that was a long time ago, so you can't hold them accountable for what I say. Okay, it just gives you an insight to how I studied with a scientific approach, and how I learned and saw and from personal experience, have over 35 years of just watching hair rehabilitate, hair break, hair grow, certain diseases, certain complications. I've got a lot of experience, and I would like to share that experience with you so that you can take power over your damaged hair. Remember, you cause 80% of your damage, and it's all because you don't have enough understanding of how your hair lives. How does it grow? How to protect it. We really think we do because the hair companies lead us to think that. They lead us to think you're going to be powerful with my conditioner. My conditioner is all you need. Just shampoo and condition with this. Well, it takes more than that, as you can see. Damaged hair is really crazy. And Hollywood has expressed fake hair so much that it's sort of a norm now. And it's not that fake hair never was. We've always had fake hair in our culture. But now it's more or less the answer to damaged hair. So we want to say this. If you want fake hair, great. They're gorgeous hair. And I understand. And they're stylish. They're easy. You get to do your hair color without all the stress. So I'm not downing fake hair. But I am saying that if you want to save your own hair, for any reason of your personal reason, you should have a place to go to do that. You should have a place to go to say, this is the basics, this is what I can start doing, and this is how I can help my hair. As where we do tend to wear the wigs, and then of course the hair pieces and the what do you call the uh, strips of hair and so forth to weave in. And then, of course, what happens? Our hair is not being tended to, and it just gets worse and worse. We live with damage too long before we do anything about it. So my clientele, my old clientele, wanted to do something different. And so they invested their time as well as their energy into coming to me and trusting that my conditioning would help them. When I closed my salons, clients were having no damaged hair. They had hair problems, but they didn't have chronic damaged hair. And they never, even years later when I saw them again, throughout the um, years I have met them in the store or something, and they never have gone back to the damage that they had when they first walked through my salon. So that's good, right? At least maybe you didn't reach all your damaged hair goals, but at least you have better hair wellness. I think that's what's happening now, is that we're losing our ability to create hair wellness. And with all the great products on the market, it should be easy. We do have good products, and we just sort of stab in the dark of how to pick them because we don't know our personal damage. We think we do, and then we try to listen to everybody. Sometimes too much knowledge is just as bad as no knowledge at all. So we have to have understanding with knowledge. And so, I go through and I think to myself, we need to give damaged hair a voice. There are ladies and men out there that would like to have answers to their hair questions. And their hair may not be as damaged as it is now, but they can see it going in that direction, and they would like to stop it. Let's face it, our medications are different. Our weather is even different. Everything, stress is different. So with all this going on, we have to understand that our hair has to get used to this as well. So let's understand how our hair works physically, and then maybe, just maybe, we can narrow down you clearing up all of your hair issues. And you can, don't feel so dismayed. There are some hair issues that are stronger than others, but, don't count yourself out until you learn how your hair lives and how to support it, because it has remarkable ability to heal. And if you understood how it was healing, then you would be more patient with your hair. You would be more less stressed. A lot of times my clients would come to me and they're just stressed. They didn't like the breakage, and they don't know how to settle with that. So to have someone to go through with you with your damage is a lot better than just stumbling in the dark all by yourself. It's also a waste of money. So I hope my channel will help you do that. I would like to think that I'm saving damaged hair one hit at a time. I would like to think that I did it once and I could do it again. I am giving you advice, spending about 25 minutes a week. Don't have any sponsors, just my legal cosmetology license and my experience. Hopefully this will be available to you, and you've kept me here going on 3 years. Thank you so much for that. Okay, remember to push that like button, but I really appreciate you taking out time to come and change your hair habits. Take control. You have the power to change your hair and understand your hair damage. And I think that's the hardest part. I go through the emails, and the emails are here to help me understand what you need and how to answer you. Sometimes it gets complicated because we spent a couple of years just talking about facts and how to shampoo and how not to, and I don't mind going over that again. But through the emails, I just don't think you're understanding the healing process. And so maybe I'm not explaining it right, so it's always good to, if, to go over that information. Sometimes it might be a repeat, but maybe, this is a repeat that will be said different, or maybe there's some added information that I couldn't say the last time, and now I can say it, and that will help give you a little bit more information. So we're talking about the healing process. And the reason why I don't think that you're familiar with it is because the scalp has a life cycles, 3 of them. And let's just, to put it simple, it is, I usually have it up, I think I had it up as my cover page, but it was the diagram of a hair strand and the hair follicle. And so when you start to look at it from an x-ray point of view, you start thinking to yourself, well, how am I getting the conditioners in? How am I going to help the scalp be better? And, you think I'm putting conditioners on, I spend good money on my product, my scalp should be fine. However, the smallest a habit can interrupt that process. So if you are doing those things, but yet you're shampooing too often, of course, you're not going to see much result because the scalp does not need to be shampooed that often. So every other day, too much. Every 2 days, too much. Okay? I would like to see you start off, if you've been shampooing every day or every other day or 3 times a week, then I would like to see you shampoo twice every 2 weeks. So that means that you're going to do a shampoo, and you're going to do 2 shampoos in that one shampoo session, but you are going to shampoo um, in 2 weeks. Shampoo twice when you shampoo, and then you'll wait another 2 weeks. This gives your natural oils time to resurface on your scalp. It also gives you time to exercise your scalp and help encourage those natural oils. This is a good process because the scalp needs this to be healthy. So the healing process, let's start with the scalp. All right, the hair follicle. Now, people don't understand that if they've had surgeries, if they've had, even though you're over your knee surgery and you did fine, remember the hair is going to take a longer healing process time. So anytime you have, depending on how long the surgeries are, we have to personalize that towards you. But we can sort of say, well, the surgery happened in 25. We hope to have your hair away from all the damage that it did, all the medication that it did, all the dryness that caused, all the stress that it caused the hair, a year. Okay. Now, what if you have diabetes or any autoimmune disease, any blood disease? That's going to affect your hair. Not that you have to worry about baldness, but sometimes it does. And sometimes it means temporary baldness, okay, until you get your scalp back together again. So what I'm saying is that the healing process for the scalp is in cycles. And if it's a resting stage, a stagnant stage, and a growing stage, you don't want to get caught up in those 2 last stages. You want to make sure the hair makes it out of that stage and goes into the next stage. All right. So when you see hair loss, it means that the stressed scalp is stressing and it's not trying to come out of a sleeping or a resting stage. So that's when you're massaging, brushing, not shampooing too often really comes into play because it helps the scalp to rehabilitate, to have its natural acid mantle, which is all over your body as well as on your scalp. It's just on your scalp. The oil is delivered through your sebaceous oil gland that is hooked to, and I'll bring a diagram of the hair follicle next time, but it's connected. So you have a muscle connected to the hair follicle, and you have a sebaceous oil gland. So you don't want to stress the scalp out, and you want to encourage those oils to come out and be on your scalp. And then, of course, pushed out throughout the hair. That's why the brushing is great, because it helps that process happen, helps the accumulation of the oils are dragged out throughout the hair, and those oils on the hair keep the hair healthy. So that's another reason why you don't want to shampoo too often, because if you disturb that acid mantle on the hair shaft as well as on the scalp, you're going to have issues with your scalp. So we want to make sure you understand the life cycle of the scalp. So maybe you should think of it, maybe it's easier to think of it as, oh, as grass. You know how the summer and the grass grows and then it gets dormant and then it comes back in the summer, in the spring. It comes back in the spring. Sorry about that. And I have a garden too. But anyway, hair is like that because it's going to go through that resting stage. It's going to go through the stagnant stage, and then of course the growth stage, which is where you're going to really pick up and say, okay, while you're in that growth stage, I'm going to help stimulate, I'm going to help relax the hair, I'm going to give it all its moisture and protein, I'm going to protect it from the sun. You get it? So, when you understand that, then you sort of say to yourself, okay, my hair is going to take time. So once the scalp, or the damage first is in the hair, once it reaches the scalp, then of course you've got to do a lot of scalp things to get your hair back in shape, or get your scalp back in shape. First a healthy scalp, then healthy hair. So what you feed your body, it goes through your hair, definitely stays there for a while. I think the main thing is dehydration. If your body's dehydrated or low on the main vitamins, for instance, if you're low on protein, then you don't have that protein for your hair. Hair is made of protein. So we need you to have, not be low on it. And then, of course, you want to maybe put a little gelatin back into your system, because that helps the protein as well. So there's lots of things to consider when your scalp is healing, and blood circulation is important. That's why braids are not as healthy, or are not a protective style, not in my experience, because we can't see when the hair needs moisture, we can't see when it's low on protein, and we cannot get the scalp to have an oil present, the acid mantle, a healthy acid mantle present. So not only do you have to encourage those oils, but then you have to spread them throughout your hair, right? Help protect your hair. And then you can't disturb that oil. You can't disturb it in the sense of, if you keep washing it away, then you're breaking down the environment of what the hair should be. So we have to understand that your your scalp oil plays an important part of the health of your hair. So just getting that back. So many people that when I had my salon, the first thing, nobody walked in there. It was like the hospital. Everybody walks in with high blood pressure. Everybody would walk into the salon, and let me tell you, they were always dehydrated. And then of course they didn't know how to protect themselves from the sun. So their hair was over dehydrated because of that. And then their body is dehydrated. So that will affect your hair a lot. We don't want to keep that dehydration to a point that it gets to your hair and scalp. If your scalp starts getting dehydrated, then that means your body is formulating your hair in the bloodstream with dehydration. So that's not a good thing, okay? And so it's harder for your hair to hold moisture if your body is dehydrated. So stay hydrated. It's very important. But here again, scalp has to heal. And scalp heals in phases because of what? There's a stagnant stage for the hair follicle. And so we're looking at the hair follicle healing, and then we're looking at a healthy scalp that is getting its acid mantle. So that's just the first process, or the first part of getting things together. And you have to understand, when you're on medicine for long-term illnesses, any painkillers, you have to look into if your medication takes your hair out. Some medication actually stops the life cycle of the hair follicle. And that means you have to really understand the process and the conditioning so that you can get through that and hopefully come out with your hair. Remember, you can condition before, during, and after. So before perm, or before sickness, during sickness, and after sickness. So you have to just know your routine and know how what your hair is telling you. And sometimes that's hard, especially when you don't understand the complex layers of damage. So that's a little bit about how the scalp heals and how the scalp needs circulation. Remember, underneath the scalp is muscle, a lot of muscle, very little bone structure in your neck. So neck and shoulders stress out. You have, remember, you have a nerve to every hair follicle. So if all that stress is out in your neck and shoulders, your hair is going to stress out. And it's not because of a product or a perm. It's because of the hair having such a severe stress load. So if you think that you've broken because of your perm, it might be true. I don't know what conditioning you were doing with your perm. However, I've known people to be very healthy and have stress issues and still break during a perm. So it gets confusing if you don't have that experience. That's why hopefully I can share my experience with you as well as give you information so you can make better hair decisions, so you can bring hair wellness close to you. Not everybody's a candidate for fake hair, and I think that's why the women eventually just go bald. They go from fake hair and they just go bald. And Hollywood has a lot to do with them giving us impressions of how our hair is supposed to look. So if Hollywood is wearing the hair and they look gorgeous, then we figure we do too. And we do look good. And I didn't say we didn't look good in the fake hair. We look great. But not everyone has that option. Not everyone can wear them. I used to wear wigs. They were very popular in the 70s. And it was like the wardrobe choice. If it matched your wardrobe or if it matched, when I'm not in color, so well, sometimes in color, yeah. But anyway, if I felt I wanted a bob because that bob haircut looked better on my with my outfit, then yeah, I would definitely do it. And I had a great time. However, as I got older and have gone through a lot of illnesses, so therefore it's just not an option for me anymore. And so I'm happy that I have hair wellness. I've had to help my hair be healthy. 7 spinal cord surgeries. I think I might have lost my hair at least 3 times, minimum. Okay, so it's good to have the hair wellness because your hair can come back, as well as you are not as fearful as you go through the healing. Your hair can heal right with you. So we just have to understand what medications we're taking, how that affects the scalp. So if your medication is working against your hair growth that's inside the hair follicle, messing with the hair cycle of the hair, then and causing breakage, then of course you have to debate whether or not you can get off that. Sometimes you can't get off the medicine. So therefore you have to do more conditioning and maybe have more of a support program at home that compensates for the dehydration that your medication may be causing. So keep yourself hydrated and definitely understand that the scalp has a slow process. Sometimes I've seen the scalp heal and the hair follicles heal to the point that the hair just, all of it just fell out. It just fell out and a brand new head of hair was there, coming in twice as fast, twice as thick, and beautiful. So, how the hair reacts in the healing process, I'm not saying that's going to happen to you. I'm just saying that how the healing process works is kind of weird. It's kind of different. Well, I won't say it's weird, but it's beautiful to look at and how you still have a lot of life in your scalp. We just have to know how to protect it. Remember, you're 80% of your hair damage, right? I want to thank you for staying. I want to thank you for learning. I hope that you have learned something today to teach you a little bit more about the hair wellness process. Uh, Going over with you really helps me go over my basics as well so that I keep all this fresh so I can do my research. I still do research and continue to be smart enough to answer your questions. I hope you subscribe. It's free. Dropping my paperwork here. I hope you subscribe. It's free. I really appreciate it if you push the like button. I try to post every Friday. Hopefully, we will start a hair wellness journey together. I'm looking forward to giving you the information you need to be hair smart. And thank you for coming. Have a good day, and thank you for sending your emails to ditahair911 gmail.com. Please leave a comment if you need to. Hey, I think that's it. Go have a good hair day. Thank you.